entertainment with another updated video away from all the reactions, reviews, and movie news that we normally do. A bit more of a laid back approach here, as you can see, not in the studio today. And really just to give you guys an update on what's happening with the channel at the moment as we approach 17,000 subscribers. We'd like to thank you all, one and all that is, for subscribing and supporting the channel. John and I very much appreciate it. Now, just a couple of things. I was going to just put this into the community, but felt let's just do a video and we'll cover it all. If you guys want to come in and chat, by all means, happy to obviously chat with you guys as always. So we are live, we are interactive, and you're probably wondering, where's John? Where is he? The man who has the face of Movie Burner Entertainment most of the time. He's the one that does all the shows, and I come in obviously for the movie news and the reactions. But I think we'll start off with Antidone. Part 3 is coming, guys. I know that most of you have probably already watched our first two parts. And also we've took note of obviously the comments that you guys have been making in terms of the layers and the meaning behind a lot of the storylines that are happening in the film. And it's just to let you know that we have recorded part 3 and it will be out soon once it's edited down a bit. I think it was the last maybe 45 minutes of it. So that will be out very shortly. We had to get our Andor episode 7 announcement reaction out today because it's obviously just dropped over the last couple of days and we want to make sure that our Western audiences are getting to see that reaction as well. So that's the upload for today. One of the things in terms of Antidone Part 3 that we must warn you is that it's very short and sweet, or summary at the very end. But don't worry, we do mention in that we are going to be recording a full review of the film because we felt that the last couple of reactions we've done, whether it be film or web series, that we were probably just skimming the surface after doing it off the back of the actual watch along, not really giving ourselves time to digest or absorb what we've just watched, the information. And we felt maybe a couple of days just to sit back and take it all in because there's a lot happening. Let's be honest, there's a lot happening in this film from start to finish, particularly the third part of the movie, the last 45 minutes of the film. So many twists and so many turns that we certainly did not see. You'll see that obviously when we do a reaction. And we're looking forward to you guys actually seeing it playing out in front of our eyes. It's always an enjoyable thing. And yeah, so we'll be recording our review for Antidone on Sunday, and that'll go out probably early Monday or Tuesday next week. And while we're doing that, we'll probably be recording something else, and that's kind of moves us on to our what next on our watch along series. Will we be doing web series? Will we be doing movies? Well, to be honest with you, I think we've already mentioned previously that the reason that we were doing a couple of movies, we did Sardarudum and then Anhedin, and one of the reasons for that was because we know that a couple of web series that we do want to catch up on when they are released is obviously Mirzapur and The Family Man, both season 3s. And we have been trying to follow the news on this in terms of when's it coming out. You know, it was rumoured that it was supposed to be October. Doesn't look likely now. And then November, possibly, and maybe December. But then some people in the community have already said to us that it could be early 2023. So it's one of those ones that we don't want to try and commit ourselves to a long web series. We do want to see Patal Lock, of course. But one of the reasons that we've not done it is we don't want to do it in the middle of something maybe like Family Man or Mirzapur dropping, and then we're kind of chasing our tail a bit. And you guys are wondering where these uploads are going to appear. So we're committing ourselves to movies at the moment, and we have got a list of the previous list that is that came on the back of Antidone's sort of choice. So we will get there, and certainly when it comes to movies, by all means, if you want to drop them into the comments here as well, it's appreciated, and really just give us your thoughts on what we should do next. Should we maybe change genre, maybe do a comedy? It's up to you guys. You let us know. You let us know the big films out there that you think we may enjoy from our previous watch-alongs. And yeah, I think that's everything from the sort of updates on what's coming next in terms of watch along series. We have had a few questions in terms of full reactions, putting a timer up. I think Jennifer in the chat, she she said that some of the other reaction channels have done that. I hate calling ourselves a reaction channel because I don't really see ourselves as just a solely a reaction channel. We've actually done more movie reviews and movie news more than reactions than anything, but we certainly do enjoy doing them, so they will continue for the time being. In terms of full watch alongs, it's something we did previously when we had a Vimeo account. We had it on a, I think it was a 30-day trial or something like that. But the problem with that was that it comes at a price, and it is a very hefty price it comes at for an annual subscription to one of these things to sort of host full length videos to get round copyright and stuff like that. I don't know if any of you guys know, we are based in the UK. You probably can tell from our accents that we're based in Scotland, and sometimes it is a bit of a nightmare for John to get even edited videos through copyright. Certainly with Andy Dunn, with the amount of music that was happening in that movie, there was a few things that were blocked that we couldn't get through. But nevertheless, we got there with the first two parts. But just to give you a sort of idea of how hard it is sometimes here in the UK to get things through copyright. But I'll touch on obviously that more in the Patreon side of things when I come to talk about that. The next thing I want to talk about is shorts. And the reason I want to bring this up is because we are going to be creating a new playlist that's going to be condensing our movie reviews from past to the point in the video for the rating of that video, sorry, that film. And that's either going to be a 15-second or 60-second sort of capture of the review. And you may have seen them already. I know some of you guys have already seen them because you are making comments how we rate videos and how we rate the films. And what happened previously when we started doing movie reviews, I think around about 2019, 2020, we used to use an old system from A, B, C, D, E, F, F being the worst, A being the greatest. And I know that someone's commented, how do you rate them, and how do you what's good, what's bad? Well, a B plus is obviously that's a pretty good film, and F is a pretty poor film. But we changed all that this year. We changed it to a 1 to 10 system. John actually said to me, I think it would be best. I think most reviewers do that anyway. So that's something that we've done now. And 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. So we will be reviewing and had done on Sunday, and we will be giving that our rating as well. So in terms of that, that's a new thing. You can check it out obviously on our tab for our previous reviews. There is quite a lot in there, and there is a lot to clip as well. But you might get something out of it. You might actually agree with us. You might disagree with us. And we always like that feedback. Whether we rate a film maybe 8 out of 10, you might think it's a poor film. Say, why are you rating it 8 out of 10? You might think that maybe it's a low rating compared to what you think the film should be. So we'd obviously, like your thoughts on that as well. Messal, how you doing? How you doing, my friend? Just in here, just having a brief update on things because, and anyone who's wondering why I'm doing this live, not just a pre-recorded video. The reason for that is because when we normally do live videos, John and I normally do them round about 10 o'clock UK time, PM that is, and you guys are all in your beds sleeping. You know, most of our community, due to the time zone, it's probably about 4, 5 in the morning or something like that. So we don't really get a chance to talk to you guys live and interactive as it's happening unless we are doing a Q&A on a Sunday afternoon here in the UK, which I think is roughly about 6 or 7 maybe over in India. Hi there, Aman, how you doing? Very pleased to meet you. Thank you for coming in. If you guys want to make any suggestions in terms of our watch along, just drop them in the live chat. It's always appreciated. And yeah, I mean, that's what we tend to do. And it's just unfortunate, obviously, time zones and we both work during the day. So I'm actually on annual leave this week, so I'm able to do this video. Kids are out the house as well, so able to just have a moment to myself and be able to do this live video. So it's appreciated anyone wants to come in and obviously comment. And I think I think I will be doing more of these, certainly when it comes to Patreon, which I want to go on to next. And people may have some sinister thoughts on why we've opened a Patreon up in terms of that. It actually originally was used to facilitate long versions of our watch-alongs through Vimeo, and we felt that it was a good platform to put it on and a good setup for a community in terms of that. And obviously, once our Vimeo free membership thing retired itself, we've only been using it for early access, and that's one of the things I want to talk about is anyone who is on our Patreon, and we did drop a little thank you to all our patrons and to the community earlier on this week, will get, I think it's 24 hours early access to our watch along series. So if you want to obviously jump onto Patreon, you will get those videos before anyone else, and it's always appreciated anyone who wants to come in. And we decided to use it as a platform for the early access, but we don't want to obviously rip the P, as it said, and make you guys on YouTube wait. Use our faithful community and subscribers, and we don't want to make you wait too long. So there is that 24-hour window that we want to make sure obviously you guys are getting to see it as soon as possible. But at the same time, we have got a Patreon membership as well. Some people have actually commented as well, why don't we just use membership on YouTube? Well, the reason for that is that we actually try and follow the sort of YouTube guidelines and advice on how to manage your channel. We realise we're not a big channel, we're not our Stupid Reactions or Jabby Coy. We are a very relatively small channel, and we don't think it's right for us to use the membership side of things on YouTube, because one, it'll cost you guys money to see exclusive videos, a lot more than what we set up on Patreon. And also, I think just that the actual general usage of it is it's something that I think might put people off actually subscribing to the channel as well. But as I said, you know, we'll do what we're doing just now and see how it goes in terms of that. The other thing I was going to mention was some more exclusive videos we're going to be doing on Patreon that will just be for Patreon. It won't be watch-alongs or anything like that. It'll probably be more videos like this, just to sort of engage more with our Patreon members and obviously give them something that's a little bit different to what we do Monday to Friday here at MBE with movie news and the likes of that. Hi Creative Spot, how you doing? I've seen some of your comments in our community tab. Welcome on in, folks. And I think just doing some more stuff with the Patreon. At the moment, we're just doing the early access stuff just now, but we are in talks to do a bit more in terms of that. But as I said, we really want to get more engagement from our side to you guys, because we feel that just the timing of things, obviously with us doing our live shows at 10 o'clock here in the UK, it doesn't always suit. We do get obviously a lot of community members and subscribers coming into our movie news shows. Just the other day we were just covering the RRR Japanese premiere on our news show, which has had some great views. We really appreciate it. A lot of people came and gave us good feedback as well, but unfortunately when we were doing the live show, I think maybe about 3 people were watching us. I think it's over 1,000 views now, so in terms of views, it's fine. We don't mind that. We put videos out that maybe only get about 20 views. Doesn't keep us up at night, because at the end of the day, we're doing it as a passion project. You know, we're doing it because we love talking about entertainment. We love talking about web series. We love talking about movies. And John and I could talk for Scotland. We really could. We just talk about films all the time, and we've tried to sort of translate that into our movie news shows. We've tried to make it more conversational between both of us instead of being quite regimented. If anyone's ever seen our early stuff, it was very scripted in terms of John, you speak now, Stephen, you speak now, and that kind of thing. And it was very robotic and very unnatural. We've kept him up so you can have a good laugh at them if you want to check them out. But over the past year or so, it has become more evident to us that we have to sort of change the way that we present ourselves, because we get that a lot of people will not understand our accents. We speak very quickly, and sometimes we do drop in some Scottish slang in there as well. So we do appreciate that sometimes our communications may be a bit too fast when we deliver. It may be that we're talking maybe too broad Scottish as well. And it's something that John actually pointed out the other day, when someone commented on one of our, I think it was Mirzapur episodes, episode 4, season 1, I think it was, and he went back and watched the actual video. I think someone was asking us what accent is that, and he could not believe how quickly he was speaking. Um, and I went back and watched it, and I watched obviously myself speaking as well. And sometimes when you're doing live stuff, particularly live stuff like this, you do kind of, well, John and I do, and we've admitted it, that we kind of speak too quick, and it's something that we are obviously aware of, So we are trying to find our feet in terms of how we do that and how we approach it. But again, it's all about engagement. It's all right, John and I establishing our communications with each other, but we have to obviously engage with the community as well. We want to. That's the point. But yeah, Vebi, hi, how you doing? Hey, can you react to Ramayana, the legend of Prince Rama, since DIY is coming soon? Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of those things that we do after every recording. We go through the community and we go through the comments per video, and we take note. We take note of all the requests, and then we just try and work our way through them. So yeah, I mean, it's something that we will look at, because I think there's quite a few people actually requested that, Vebi. So certainly, definitely, we will be looking at do some more trailer reactions as well, because it's something that we've not really done for maybe about 3 or 4 weeks now, and I know there's been quite a few films dropping. Hi, Carm. How you doing? Welcome on in. It is a Q&A. It can be if you want. It's entirely up to yourselves. I'm going to be here for maybe, I don't know. It really depends on you guys. But it should really just giving you some updates on the channel. But we will be getting a more sort of formal Q&A put together before the end of the year. We did one, I think, in the summer, and we always enjoy engaging, and we try and make it at a time zone with our Western audiences, our European audiences, and of course our Indian audiences as well. Where's your partner, John? John is John's my brother-in-law, and he's out working just now. It's actually it's just after 2 o'clock here, 17 minutes past 2 in the afternoon. I'm actually on annual leave from my job. John's actually out doing his job at the moment. So it gives John a little break as well, because I know that he's been working very hard in his own job, and he's also been working very hard when he comes home from his own job to doing the editing to our videos. And sometimes it does take quite a few hours to put those videos together. So I'm sure we all appreciate John's efforts anyway. Hi Ryo, how you doing? Yeah, Legend of Prince Rama will be cool. Indo-Japan collaboration, wow, yeah. I'm not really sure how many collaborations have been done between India and Japan, but certainly didn't know that. And John and I both love Japan as well. We love a lot of the content that comes out of Japan. We've done mostly out with Indian cinema, Korean web series and films, but certainly when it comes to the Japanese, it's certainly something that we're going to be looking at anyway. So this might be the perfect opportunity to go in there and obviously check that out. But yeah, definitely, Raul, thank you very much for that. So yeah, the other thing was I think I mentioned the shorts. Yeah, was anyone that's just came in, and Done Part 3 will be coming out very shortly. We have recorded it. We have gave our brief thoughts, and they are brief because we are going to be doing a full review recording on Sunday this week, which will go out early next week. And we will also give our ratings for that, guys, because it was such a great film. It's such a great recommendation as well. And I know there was maybe a minority of people in the community thought it was a bad choice. I, I don't really want to give too much away in terms of how we felt about the film, but I think it's safe to say that John and I both did enjoy the movie and its structure. I said in the community live chat, I think it was yesterday or the day before, it felt like a Coen Brothers movie, the way it was structured. In terms of the storytelling, the sort of bizarre situation that people can get themselves into, and how they get out of that before digging that big hole for themselves and then try to dig their way out of it. And I felt that with Anto Dunn. I felt that could easily be a Coen Brothers film. It certainly had the sort of vibe of Fargo. It certainly had the vibe of the Ballad of Buster Scruggs as well, if I can just get my tongue around that. And I think I love a good written film, and I love a good character-driven film as well. I know John is the same. He likes good investment in the characters, and we felt that in Anna Dunn there was a lot of investment in the characters across the board, big or small. In terms of appearance, I felt everyone, even the little boy that got the slap, was very good. But yeah, you should take a look at Kantara, the latest sensation here. Yeah, I think there's a couple of people mentioned that, Cam. I think John and I are going to be doing more recordings over the weekend anyway, so I think we'll certainly be looking at that one, because I know that maybe about 4 or 5 people have already mentioned it in the chat. So it's certainly something that I think we'll certainly be recording, and obviously we'll get it out to you guys as soon as possible. Really appreciate, obviously, your time and effort from you guys. And as I said, just getting back to the Q&A. This is not so much a Q&A, it's more of just a catch up and an update. But obviously, if you guys have got any questions, certainly I'll take them. But in terms of a more formal Q&A, certainly it's something that John and I will be doing for the end of the year, probably maybe a Christmas special or something like that, and we can kind of look back on the year's film releases, will it be in the Western or Indian cinema. Certainly some of the films we've seen this year have been fantastic. I don't think we can escape this year without mentioning the likes of KGF Chapter 2 and Triple R has been two of the standout films of the year. In terms of maybe disappointing films, maybe Beast comes under that, from Telepathy VJ. Certainly it's not up there with Master and previous films that we've reviewed, but certainly it's something worth discussing, and I think in terms of SS Rajamouli as well, who we've covered quite a bit on our movie news show. Our last show was obviously dedicated to him, Junior NTR and Ram Charan, for their Japanese premiere, which is happening, I think, is it today? It is today. The Japanese premiere is today. It's probably already happening as we speak, due to the time zone. So we may cover that more in our movie news. But going back to SS Rajamouli, I think John and I had already watched Bahubali, the beginning and the conclusion. I think that was one of the first movies that we did. It was certainly one of the first 5 films that we reviewed when we started getting down this journey into Indian cinema. And the guy is an absolute master in terms of storytelling. And I think from a Western audience's point of view, once our minds get past certainly escaping that sort of realism, in terms of it's a strange one, because Western audiences should be used to sort of fantasy told stories in terms of Marvel and DC, etc. And for some reason, we still have to condition ourselves. I don't know what it is, but John and I are past the conditioning. We've seen enough Indian cinema. We've seen enough fantasy films as well, in terms of KGF and Bahubali, and such like, to really get into the sort of understanding of the format and the storytelling. And it's certainly something that we are more used to than, say, your standard Western audiences. I know that some of the big YouTubers out there had a real issue with Triple R's opening credit scenes, something that John and I kind of take for granted now, because we feel that it's just part and parcel of the movie's presentation. I think Western audiences are more used to the sort of way that George Lucas was doing things in the 70s, and films did afterwards. after Star Wars in '77 was to just get right into the action and put all the end credits at the very end. But it's certainly something that doesn't bother us too much, you know. Priyank, how you doing? With all due respect, I wish your channel to grow, but somehow I feel that it's not growing in terms of subscribers. Please have a look into this aspect as well. It's a good point, Priyank. You know, I think it is accents. I think a lot of people click on and they hear the accents, and it's probably a put off to them. Can't understand what we're saying, but certainly, I think the channel, in terms of content, is good. It could be just that John and I, our accents at times is very hard to understand, and it can be pretty off-putting for people. But as I said earlier on, you know, if you look at our older videos, you will see that that our delivery at times is very fast. It's very Scottish, and sometimes we wonder what we were doing back then. But in terms of that, yeah, we appreciate it. I think it's not going to grow in terms of subscribers to anything sort of out of this world in the time being, and we're not here to do that anyway. We're here. We appreciate anyone subscribing to the channel, but I think sometimes, you know, that people will look at YouTubers and they'll think, you know, a lot of people are out there to make money. We don't make that much money out of this, and any money we do make on the videos goes back into the channel for equipment, whether it be lighting, whether it be tripods, whether it be you know, new equipment for the camera, adapters, that kind of thing, microphones, stands, etc. It's a number of things, and it's all little things that need maintained, because your equipment we've had for the last 4 years is starting to get a little bit older now, and any, you know, obviously any money that's made on ads goes back into the channel anyway. This isn't our jobs. It would be a great job to have, being a YouTuber, but we certainly don't keep ourselves up at night wondering how we crack the sort of algorithm or anything like that. We're not here to do that. Cam Yog says it's not accent. It's probably just us then. It's probably our faces, but I don't know. I think maybe there's just too many YouTubers out there doing the same thing, and that could be it as well. We're certainly always learning. We don't we don't ever say that we know all the answers to having a successful YouTube channel. And what is a successful YouTube channel anyway? Is it how much money you're making? Is it how many subscribers you're getting? How many views you're getting per video? I suppose all these things are taken into account. If you can get all three, I suppose that's a successful YouTube channel. But it's really what you get out of it, the actual person, the creator, that's getting anything out of this. And as I said, you know, it's one of those things that John and I just like doing. We were doing it before we had the cameras in front of us. You know, we used to sit in the cinema, come out, go into Starbucks, have a coffee, talk about the film. And I think that's where it came from. You know, I think that's where it came from in terms of, why don't we do this on YouTube? And my brother as well, Kevin, who we're trying to get on the channel, he helped form MBE back in 2017. And it's one of those things we're just trying to do, and we're trying to get across, you know, and trying to find like-minded people. And I think we certainly have that. I can see that in the live chat at the moment, that we've got like-minded people, you know, who got a passion for cinema, and not just Indian cinema or Western cinema, but international cinema all round. And that's what we like. That's what we enjoy talking about. That's what we like to engage in, and get very excited about it. And that's why we do the movie news channel as well, or show, sorry. I think that's one of the reasons that John and I have got a good sort of dynamic between us, because we're both passionate. We're not doing it for anything other than just the enjoyment, you know, and anything that comes along the way in terms of subscribers, views, or monetization, which is not a big factor for us because we're both full-time workers in our own professions, and that's what we do anyway. This is something else, you know, and I think if this thing explodes, it would be fantastic. I think both of us would be really delighted with that and very proud. But we can't do that without obviously having a good community, and that's what we feel we have, you know, at the moment, and that's what we want to maintain. So hence why the live video, folks. But it's always appreciated when you drop something into the live chat that we can obviously, obviously get our teeth into and discuss. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, in terms of other YouTube channels, we both enjoy John Compare, who's from his show's based in the US. He's actually Canadian, and the reason we enjoy John is because he used to be on a channel called Collider, if anyone's aware of it, and that was one of the sort of inspirations for doing some YouTube entertainment videos. Um, we never thought at this stage we'd be at 17,000 subscribers or coming up for that. We always thought if we could get 20 viewers into per video, we've achieved something. So we've got 20 people that are like minded that want to see our stuff, and that's really it. We don't really think too far ahead. And in terms of reactors, we enjoy the Real Rejects, we enjoy Jabby Koi, we enjoy our stupid reactions. There's a number, Tyrone as well, Tyrone Magnus, another fantastic reactor. In terms of that, it's something fascinating about watching people react to stuff that you like. I was doing it earlier in terms of another channel that I've just came across. I can't actually, Rob Squad it is, a great channel with a husband and wife reacting to films for the first time, which I think is very fascinating, And I think sometimes people do question the whole first time watching thing. And yeah, I suppose you can get in it with that sort of cynical eye. But I tend to just go in for the raw emotion of things, and the amount of films I've seen, I know moments in films, and I'm very curious to see how other people react as well, and how they um, handle that scene, if it's similar to mine, or if it doesn't affect them, or if it maybe affects them even more, just to see how they react. So there is that sort of curiosity when it comes to that. Cam says, "Not your faces either." I'm glad to hear that. I'm starting to get a complexion there, Cam. Maybe some plastic surgery. It might work. But I think your thumbnails or headings are not sensational, for a lack of a better word. Maybe the reason, but I like your content. Oh, thanks very much for that, Cam. It could be. It could be the thumbnails or the headings. I'm not really sure. John would probably have to answer that one. John does the thumbnails most of the time. In terms of headings, we try to not be as clickbaity, and we don't really want to go down that sort of road. We've seen a lot of YouTube channels do that, and they get the views, they get that's my light out, guys. They get that sort of feedback in terms of subscribers, monetization, views, and it's based on a bit of clickbait. And I don't really like doing that, because it can be misleading, and we try to be as honest as possible in our videos in terms of our opinion. So our headline has to reflect on the way we feel about that. But it's one of those things. It could be in terms of thumbnails. John really gives that a lot of thought, and he does breaks it down to me. Sometimes he's his own sort of worst enemy in terms of being a critic of his own work, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Come, it's just one of those things. It's all hindsight to us, to be honest with you. We really don't know how these things will work, or how they'll play out until it happens, I suppose, and then you can look back and go, maybe the headline could have been a little bit better, maybe the thumbnail could have been a bit more controversial or whatever. But we try not to be too sensational about things. We try to be as honest as possible, and try to keep some credibility, I suppose, to the channel, and be as honest as we can. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Again, it doesn't keep us awake at night. We're not really that fussed in terms of whether or not they will get high views on anything. It's just as long as you guys give us feedback, whether that be constructive criticism, whether it be good feedback, which we always obviously appreciate. I think we all like to have a pat in the head every now and again, and someone saying well done, But really appreciate, obviously, you like the content. If there's anything else, guys, in terms of content, and what you guys would like to see, I know that one of our subscribers, Jennifer, who has just become a patron, suggested perhaps maybe doing full reviews and our full reactions uncut, and put them on Patreon or Vimeo or whatever. It's certainly something that we've tried in the past, and it has worked, but it does come at a cost in terms of subscription to the likes of Vimeo. But if there's another way you guys can maybe let us know about in terms of how we'd be able to get a full reaction up uncut without, obviously, it couldn't be on YouTube, of course, because of copyright. Who knows? Hey, bad French fry, how you doing? How you doing, my friend? Hey, you have missed out on the trailers on Kintara, Budaya, and Ponyan Selvan. We'll get them. We'll get them over the weekend, my friend. It's been really busy this week. John has been working his socks off in terms of his job. He's been working very late till 8, half 8 at night here in the UK. We normally do our recordings at 10, so it's not really giving him a lot of time to really sit down. And because obviously we're committed to doing live shows as well, and we were still doing the and had done reaction, we've not really caught up in the trailer reactions. So we will get them, and they will be out as soon as. Yeah, I mean, it's we'll get them out as soon as we can. We're kind of conscious as well that obviously the likes of Jabby Koi and their stupid reactions are knocking them out very quickly, and I get it's their part of their job as well. And sometimes we think if we missed the boat, but then we've had trailer reactions that have went out before the sort of big hitters come in, and they've done really well. And then once the big hitters drop, ours just sort of nosedive after that. And on the back of that, we've waited till theirs has sort of ran its course, and then we'll drop our trailers as well. And sometimes I think sometimes it really just, it's hindsight again. It's really one of those things. Sometimes it works, and we go, well, it worked that time, so we'll try it that way. It doesn't work the next time. It's just, it maybe the algorithm, could be timing. We're not really sure. As obviously Priyank says, it could be. Sorry, it might be you, Cam. Actually, it said in terms of the heading of the thumbnail. But certainly, we're always trying to improve. We're always trying to get our videos improving all the time in terms of presentation, in terms of coming across as well. So we'll certainly get those trailers reacted to. Bad French fry. Always a pleasure to have you in the live chat as well. We don't really get a chance to talk to you guys. Obviously, our live shows are normally 10 o'clock at night here in the UK, so you guys are all mostly sleeping. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Unfortunately, if it was our jobs, we'd be on all the time talking to you guys until you were sick of hearing us. But I think, yeah, hey, your reactions are genuine. The other reaction channels started with over the top reaction. Yeah, I mean, I think some people like that though, and I think sometimes people in the UK can be quite reserved and find it very hard to show emotion on camera. And there's been a couple of times where I've really been affected, certainly with um, um, the last film, Sudar Adam, was the massacre scene really deeply affected both of us in different ways. John went very quiet. As you know, John can speak for Scotland, but he went very quiet watching that sequence, just totally shocked. And that's how it affected him. In terms of me, if you look at the video, you'll see my eyes welling up. That's how as emotional I'll get in terms of reacting when it's things like that. Anyone that's seen Squid Game, I think it was episode 6, a hard hitting episode of that as well. You can see the reactions. John and I react differently. John likes to maybe be a bit more reserved in his feelings on camera. Me to an extent as well, but my eyes kind of give it away. My eyes will always fill up with emotion when it's something that I think it's really hard hitting, something that's touching closer to home. There was that particular scene in Sadarudum with the little girl who'd obviously been gunned down, still holding the hand of, I think it may have been her sister, I can't remember. I think it was one of her siblings, I can't remember, but it was just so hard hitting. I've got two girls myself. The little girl looked probably about the same age as my oldest daughter, and I suppose we all get affected in different ways. But in terms of over the top reactions, it's something you'll not find from us, I'm afraid. There will be times when we will laugh or be shocked or whatever, but they're always genuine. They certainly are, Cam. The other reaction channels, I think most people know a genuine reaction to a fake reaction, but even the sort of fake reactors out there still worth watching, you know, just to see how they react to something. It's curiosity more than anything, you know, so it's one of those things. But I can't believe this has been 40 minutes of me babbling on. Actually, before I came on, I accidentally hit the broadcast button and didn't realise I was on live, so I had to delete that video very quickly. I didn't have anything set up or anything like that. So um, it's been an absolute pleasure, guys, obviously talking to you guys this afternoon. And I'm going to be doing more of these. Obviously, I'm back at work next week, so it will be on my lunch hour possibly that I'll be able to do some more Q&As and obviously more interaction with our community. But it's always appreciated. And yeah, so part 3 of And the Done will be coming up very shortly on the channel, so look out for that. If you've hit the notification bell and obviously the subscribe button, you will get that notification to let you know when that drops. And as always, it's going to be in a sort of premiere sort of style, so we can get the live chat going. John and I are always on the live chat when it comes to premieres anyway. Although the video's not live, the live chat is always live, and we will interact with you guys, as most of you know who come in to watch the premiere of their reaction. So part 3 will be dropping very shortly over the next day or so, and then our actual full review, because I know Bad French Fry, you did mention in the comments, pay very close attention. So after you see part 3, you'll see that we skim kind of the surface of how we felt about part 3, not really giving too much away because we are going to do a full review and give our honest thoughts on the movie and give it our rating as well. Also, shorts. If you check our channel out, you'll see in shorts we're starting to put out our ratings for previous reviews. Previously, we would review A to F, A being the best, F being the worst. And some people have asked, how do you rate them? Why don't you do 1 to 10? Well, since the start of this year, or the end of last year, we started doing 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. So keep an eye out for that as well, guys. And in terms of Patreon, the link I'll put that in below in terms of having early access to any of our watch alongs. We're going to start building up our community on that platform as well, with some more exclusive videos that are probably a bit different to the format that we're used to on this channel. But I'm just going to love you and leave you, guys. I'm going to probably put my finger over this screen at the moment just so I can shut this thing down. At the moment, I'm doing it on mobile. That's how the sound isn't as good as it is when we're in the studio. And we'll get there. We always do. But again, it's been a pleasure. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.